What's up, everybody? You asked for it, you got it. A new message from Kusumi-an. So it's rainy season here in Japan, which means one day, you're hot and you're salty, and the next day you're freezing, right? So today's one of those days where you're freezing, so let me get one of these shirts on and we'll start right up. That's better. Whoa, look at that. Isn't that awesome? What an awesome shirt. Boom. See that? Bujin and the 9 lineages. In Sensei's script, nonetheless. Wow. Also, you may say, hey, Paul, what's on the arm? I'm glad you asked. Shikinharu Mitsu Komyo. Boom. All right, you got it. What an awesome shirt. Now, this shirt was made by my friend Mark Franco out of California. Mark, I love this shirt. Everybody loves this shirt. Whenever I wear it, people say, hey, where'd you get that shirt? I say, it's from Mark. So Mark, please make more of these shirts. Give the people what they want. So I got another message from you, and it's from, of course, Nagato Sensei. So you asked for it. I did it. I called him up. I said, Nagato Sensei, how are you doing? He says, I'm fine. I said, that's wonderful news. I said, do you have a message for the people, the Bujinkan community? He says, yeah, tell them I'm fine. I was like, okay, because Nagato Sensei can be a man of few words, right? But I said, hey, is there something else, maybe something a little more you can share with us? And he says, sure. Tell them that this is an important time. This is why we train. Think for yourself and survive. 4 short, sweet, simple statements, right? So that's it. Hope you had a great time. We'll see you next time. Just kidding. So most of you know that I've been training with Hatsumi Sensei for the last 26, 27 years here in Japan every week. And I thought I would kind of unpack these 4 simple expressions, these 4 simple statements, to unpack them and shine a little bit of that Ninpo wisdom. Because sometimes it can be hard to understand, okay, what do these really mean? What's the depth of them, right? And as some of you know, we've been doing these chats from Kusumi-an lately. And with my American audience, and this week with my European audience, we will be discussing concepts from this book, Ninpo Wisdom for Life. Now, if you have never read this book, you got to go get it. It's the most awesome book, because all this book is a translation of this book, a book that Sensei wrote a long time ago, Togakureru Ninpo. If you haven't read this book, go get it. It's an awesome book. Sensei wrote this a long time ago, probably in the 70s, but if you read it, it's like timeless wisdom. So it's about Ninpo and the way of the ninja, right? Now, this book took me a long time to read. When I first got to Japan, let me just show you. I mean, I would be reading it every day. Can you see that? It would take me a page a day to get through this thing. I mean, it was rough, right? So get this book and read it. Now, if you can't read Japanese, do the next best thing and go out and grab this book, right? And better yet, then join our chat and we can discuss it together. So I thought I would shine a little bit of this Ninpo wisdom on these 4 sayings to give you a little bit more understanding of what they mean, or what they could mean. So the first one, this is an important time. And it is. Many of us find ourselves on lockdown right now, right? In a period of inactivity. We can't go out. We can't connect with people. So it's sort of a downtime, isn't it? But downtime is essential in anybody's life, right? Sensei would talk about Miyamoto Musashi, the famous swordsman, how even he spent time in residence at a castle for a year or 2, or as farmer for a year or 2, between his bursts of activity, right? This downtime is essential for us as humans, right? It gives us the stamina, it gives us the endurance to then go out and do those big moments of activity, right? So this is an essential time. So try not to think of it as downtime, nothing to do, you're bored, but just let this time sink into you and you sink into the time, right? Just allow yourself to be, realizing that this downtime is just, it's like you're running, it's like you're getting ready to run up and do a big long jump, right? Or it's like you're being pulled back in a slingshot, and soon, boom, you're going to be released and there's going to be a lot of activity. Now, we don't know when that activity is going to come or what it's going to be or how it's going to manifest, but it's coming, right? So use this time, or maybe don't use it. Just enjoy this time, this downtime, to foster your spirit, your stamina, and your strength for that next burst of activity which is coming, Okay? They even said like the Monkey King. Maybe you know Son Goku from Dragon Ball. When I first came to Japan, that was the way I learned Japanese in the beginning. I read Dragon Ball. Son Goku, or the Monkey King, actually comes from another story, but this Monkey King was insufferable. He was a true rascal, and nobody could control him. So finally they asked the Buddha to lock him up in his cave. And so somehow he gets locked up in this cave for 500 years under a mountain, and he stayed there. 500 years. Now we've only been locked up for 2 months and we're going crazy, right? But he was under a mountain for 5 years, right, in this great period of inactivity. Because afterwards he had a great mission, a great adventure where he had to be part of a group to go to India, get the Buddhist scriptures or sutras and bring them back to China. So that period of inactivity for him was getting him prepared to have the strength, the stamina, the endurance to then accomplish this great mission of going to the West and bringing these sutras back. So that's the time. It's an important time. And just enjoy this time. The second one is, this is why we train. You may think, this is why we train. What does that mean? Now, if you're only thinking about the physical aspect of martial arts, you may be getting confused now. Like, well, how am I supposed to fight this coronavirus? How am I supposed to shoot this coronavirus, right? It's impossible, right? How do you fight that? If you're only thinking about the physical aspect of martial arts, you're doing yourself a big injustice, right? Ninpo has many dimensions of training. Of course, it starts with the physical. Of course, you must know the techniques. You must have a strong body. You must have the ability to defend yourself, your friends, your family, your nation, and further out, right? So you must have the physical ability. But it should not stop there. It cannot stop there. To be a true ninja, you have to develop all dimensions of your Ninpo. This is why we also have things like the Gokui, or the sometimes translated as inner secrets, or maybe ultimate secrets, right? Sort of the internal aspect of our art. Okay? So we have what's called the Gokui. And these have to be balanced. You have to raise your physical level of awareness and ability, but you also have to raise this internal aspect, or what you may consider like a spiritual refinement, right? There's dimensions to our training, right? So we have the Gokui. You've probably all heard of Banpen Fugyo. 10,000 changes, no surprise. Now, 10,000 changes is just a metaphor for infinite. So infinite change and no surprise. Because as a ninja, as someone who studies Togakureru Ninpo, we know that life is changing, transforming, transmuting. Just like Jurassic Park.
Life finds a way.
Right? I mean, it's true. Now we have a Shingata, a new form of the coronavirus, right? So we know that everything is changing, evolving. And that's why we remain calm in the midst of it. This is one of our kamais, right? So we remain calm in the midst of that. We have Fudoshin, the immovable heart, right? So that you can be steady and stable in the face of all this change. Now, it's easy to stay stable and calm when everything's going right. Right? When your job is going good, when your dog is obeying, when your wife is being nice. But when those things don't happen, that's when we get tested, right? And you're like, oh, God damn it, my dog, my wife, my job, That's when we get tested. It's at these times. This is why we train. Not just physically, but the other dimensions of Ninpo. So maybe take this time and start to balance out your training. Do the physical and also take some time, maybe read some books, right? Join some chats. Understand that there's many, many dimensions of Ninpo that we must foster as true martial artists, not only the physical, but there's many more dimensions that we have to look at and foster as a practitioner and a student of Ninpo. All right, so there's the first two. The third one is to think for yourself. And you might think that's easy. Okay, I'll just think for myself. Now, I like to also say, not think, because thinking can be lagging, like an online game, right? It lags behind, right? I like to say feel for yourself, or even feel for yourself down here. In Japan, we say hara. And they even say that the gut area has more, or as many, or even more synapses and nerves as your brain, right? This is like your secondary brain. And it's true, like we say, oh, I have a hunch, or I have a feeling, right? It's not like we have a hunch or a feeling here. It's usually we have a feeling in the body, a hunch in the body, isn't it? Right? So I like to say, think for yourself is okay, but also feel for yourself. Because inside you, not just here, but inside you, there's a deep intelligence. You have to allow that intelligence, maybe it's an intuition, an intelligence to shine through. Sometimes this can get in the way. So let's not use the word think for yourself, but feel for yourself, and allowing a greater intelligence to blossom and move through you. Okay? So think for yourself. As a ninja, we often would want to think about it in this manner, right? Allowing this greater intelligence to move through you and to be moved by you. Well, no. So as a ninja, we want to let this greater intelligence to blossom through us and allow it to move us. So this is why we practice. These gokui have to take root in you and break up that hard soil and then blossom within you. This is why we train. And number 4 is survive. Easy, just like that meme. Survive, right, from Tropic Thunder. And this is important, right? Because we all know that the ninja has a long history, thousands of years of history, and they've survived. It's obvious, right? We're here. They survived. That's why we're here, right? And they went through all kinds of things. The Warring States period, so warfare, bloodshed, fast, famine, earthquakes, floods, fires, you name it, they went through it. Political intrigue, protest. They did it all. This is nothing new. What's going on right now is nothing new. And the ninja know this, right? So they survived. And they were able to pass these teachings on to us. And this is what's so great. You are living proof. You are living proof that the ninja survived and that they're passing on the teachings to you right now, right? So remember that, survive. Now, often people think of survival as like, well, for me to survive, this person has to die. But I want to impress upon you that it doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes it does, but often surviving can have a aspect of beauty, humility, and compassion. So when you think of survival, remember these aspects as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be me surviving over somebody else, but it can be us surviving together, right? And remember the ideas of beauty, peace, compassion, humility in the survival. And I know you can do it because here we are. So we had those 4 simple sayings. This is important time. This is why we train. Think for yourself and survive. Simple and sweet. When you shine the light of Ninpo on them, it brings on a whole new feeling, doesn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed this. I want to say thank you for dropping by and watching the channel. And thank you for all your contributions. Now, if you haven't made a contribution to Kasumian, please consider making a contribution, because it's only through your contributions that we can continue to bring you this kind of material and this content from Japan. Because all of this, you can't see it, but I've got lights and cameras now, is all because of your contributions. I thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want you all to have a great day. Please comment below what you want to see, what you want to hear, and we'll get that content out to you. So again, everybody, Shiken Haimitsu Daikomyo. Have a great day. Boom, look at that, right on the sleeve. See you next time. Marco, make these shirts, okay?